speak from the heart.
Welcome to our bonus episode with Lorraine, our 3-5 initiator, manifestors for those of you following the human design system, and a soul on fire for those of you following the spiritual system. She's just let me view her chart, which always feels so intimate. So thank you so
Mhm.
much for that. I would love to know a little bit about what it's like to be an open G center over there.
Ooh, love that one. It's actually my favorite open center now.
Ooh.
But as a younger version of myself in my life path, it got me into so much trouble. Because I am a chameleon. Anybody with an open G is a chameleon. You mold and adapt to any environment, situation, person, place, and thing. And it always feels good until it doesn't. And that part is the part that's always very painful. And it's very interesting because the G center is all about love of self and direction and all these beautiful qualities where the magnetic monopole lives. And to not have it fixed always feels like you're in search of. So I absolutely love it. I have a hanging trait 46 on it, which is my profit potential and also my Mercury communication, if you're looking at my chart there, which is the 46.6. It is all about the love of body. So I love my open G. I can feel people's direction, identities, life, and like where they're going. And I can try it on like a pair of glasses and then take them off at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, what noted I stood out to me was for those that are following the star pearl and gene keys, is that that is where your relating is. And as a six line relating, it's meant to be the theme of gratitude. I imagine that you probably didn't always feel so grateful for being open in that center.
Oh, no, no. Oh, I remember in high school too, every best friend, well, I only had two best friends in high school. Like we looked like twins, whatever my best friend did. I was matching, same hair color, same style. It's really interesting what happens with that open G center, how you can get lost in it, but it's a beautiful quality if you know how to perceive it the right way.
Mm. Yeah, and then you look at your open drive and stamina. So I go there because I have so much energy happening in my drive and stamina. What is that like for you? I usually see these folks as list people. You got to have a list and you feel good when you cross it off. What is it like to be aligned in this center?
Not really much of this person. I guess that might be my
That might be,
manifestor
yeah. You guys play by
rebel.
your own rules.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's more of adrenaline. It's more of like what
Mm,
really pumps up my body in a way that feels good. Like, for example, I hate roller coasters. Like, I'm not a person that likes this pitfalling or pressure of like going through this
mm.
adrenaline wave of performance, I guess is the word that wants to come out of me of like doing things, achieving things, like getting it done kind of thing in a few lifetimes prior, that was something that was heavily conditioned into me. So there was always an overemphasis on like getting things done. And I always felt like I could never get things done. Like it never ended. It was always a never ending to-do list. And that part I'm
See,
so
there is a to-do
grateful.
list.
Well, that was in my not self, right? It always felt like you check
Yeah.
one thing off, there's another thing there, and you check it off, and there's another thing there. Like, girl, I don't live by those rules anymore. I don't have an adrenalized life. My adrenaline now moves in a different way. It's almost like I equate it to like a panther. It's like when something happens in my experience, I can really focus on it and it gives me just the right amount of pressure that I need to kill it, right? And then I'm done. And then I eat it and I'm done. So that's kind of like how it works now for me.
Yeah, and it's interesting that both those spaces for you that are open, your communication comes right out of those two spaces.
Has to be about something new and it has to be foundationally based. Yes, it's a one line. It's 53.1. And they're both my Mercuries. So the way that I hook into people now, when people hook into me through my openness, is always offering them a new way of looking at things.
Mm. And then something else that stood out to me in your chart that was fascinating is I also have the 31, and you referenced it in our main episode podcast, which if you haven't listened to, you should head on over there.
Mhm.
Mine is an unconscious talent. It's my driving force. Tell me a little bit about how this one shows up for you, because this isn't a prominent place from a Gene Keys perspective. This is your IQ.
Yeah, it's where I really shine.
Yeah.
Um, it is my values, right? My beingness. So it is
Yes.
it's got this wonderful, loving energy towards it. And I believe it's what makes me a good mother, to be quite honest. Manifestors don't like pentas. But the 31 for me always shows in the way of making sure that the right things are there for the right role for the right time. And that's how it shows up for me in group work.
That's a fascinating way to look at it. I hadn't thought about it from that space of right role, right people, right time,
Great
um,
resources. It
right
all
resources.
has to have,
Yeah.
yeah, it all has to have that synergy of like it all flowing. And I can just share, like, on a personal note, I was always the leader in a small team. They always chose me to be the person to follow through on projects. Great, love that. As a mom in my mundane, in my personal life, I always have to make sure that the sports, there's water in the car, they have their sticks, their bobbles, their things, right? They're getting to where they need to go. Like, it's the whole thing. I am the administrator. And my whole family knows that. 6, 7 years now since, human design entered my world. I'm everybody's admin assistant, I say, because I'm the one that makes sure everything's where it needs to be so it could be successfully out the door.
Yeah. Thank you for that insight into my own self as you share that, because all of the things you say resonate so much on like an unconscious level of things I've done. And because it's my driving force, I won't know why I'm not acting, but I won't. It's because I can't bring that resource here. Like, if 4 months later it reveals like I'm parting ways with this or I'm doing this instead. But anytime I've started to really learn how to trust my hesitancy in
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
And that makes sense why. I mean, I always trusted it in the sense that I didn't do anything different, but I had an internal struggle over it versus now where I'm like, okay, Sarah, I'll figure that, whatever shows up will show up.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. And then your other open center, as every manifester, of course, you have
Yes.
your open sacral, your energy source itself. And it's also fascinating there that once again, you have one energy that's coming out, only this one's unconscious.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's a
How
troublemaker one.
Well, and from a Gene Keys perspective, this would be in the place where your culture, where you would block your own prosperity or where you would unlock your prosperity.
Mm.
And it's through a 4 line, and it's a 3-5 that may not always be your jammed, the network of people.
OMG. I'll tell you something, like, I always thought that I was a networker. I always
Yeah,
thought that I was a
listen.
networker. Yeah, and through my design, notably, I have 10 4 lines, which is a huge, impactful influence on my whole holistic design as a 3-5, as a hot mess. I love calling it a hot mess, the scientific hot mess. So the 59 is all about breaking down the barriers to intimacy. The energy resource function is where life comes out of, sexual reproductive areas. And just to add, I have 4 children and I have had 2 that didn't cross over. Super fertile and not self. Like, that was like people looked at me and I was pregnant. That's how that shows up unconsciously. But now with the information we have beautiful privilege to view, I can see how it's a completely different thing. I like being intimate with people. It's getting so close to people that it's non-sexual.
Hmm.
I like that connection of getting to know somebody in vulnerability, in the highs and the lows, and in everything that happens in life. I am a space holder. I witness people. And I just love that about my 59. That's what the 59 is for me. It's my space holder. It's what really gives the opportunity for real connection to happen. It is part of the channel of interaction. Okay, it's tribal in format. So it really is about that continuity of the species, the brotherhood, the sisterhood in line four. It really is about that union that you can forge with people. Hey, ladies, right? And like empowering them in the best way that I can by bringing my design to the surface.
Yeah, when I look at your chart, I see the four lines and your creativity with your unique insights. And your culture is meant to share through a network. I didn't realize you had so many of them. I didn't have time to take that deep of a dive, but it's interesting because this is something that I always like to point out to people as well. I have a four-line SQ. As a 5-1, I've joined plenty of cults trying to just fit in, knowing that that's why is that drive to be a part of something. So it's so interesting. Like as a manifestor, you still are here for a network. You still are here to use your creative talents with others. But as a 3-5, I imagine that sometimes it feels a little hard.
Not anymore.
Not
Not at
anymore.
all. I
And
am
that's the
known
beauty of it.
as I am known as the Groucho Marx. I will never be part of what is his line? I would never be part of an organization that has somebody like me in it. I am here to stimulate networks. I'm not here to be part of all the networks.
You're going to thrive through them, but not.
I am a matrix glitcher. Okay, that's that's
Mhm.
my name. I am here to come in and bring in a new perspective, a new way forward with the love of the body and what authenticity means, what real union really means. And that's what I'm here to do. So I enjoy having so much receptivity to networks as a synthesizer because I'm a triple split. So I synthesize networks. I tap into many different networks, and my 57 3 times intuitively starts receiving messages through all these networks. And as a manifester, is how I can sense what needs to be informed because I can recognize the patterns, right? With my four, right? My gate four, which happens to be in the program. We just entered formalization today
Yeah.
to bring those logical solutions forward. But as a manifestor, those are the points of conversions that I'm always looking in discernment of what needs to be opened up as a new pathway for the common good, for the greater. Because all manifestors are here for the collective. Do we like it? Not really. But we are here to bring forward something new for the collective. We're here for every other type, same way the other types are also, right? It's two-way street. We all need each other. So in order for me to play my part, I have to play with a lot of networks. So I can
Mm.
sense what's going on and I can bring something new. So that's where I'm at in my experiment today.
It's always beautiful to talk to somebody on an episode about these energies that typically distract and to hear how you've
Mm,
moved through them and how you work with them, right? I am no
yeah.
longer joining LA gangs just to fit in, as the quote was in the book. And it is really cool to see your creativity. It's just these unique insights. So you definitely need to be on more podcasts so that we can hear more of your insights. And I could do an entire episode with you on that 59. Maybe I could pick up some of your fertility while we're on it.
Yeah.
Does it work that way? I've been trying to touch all of my 59-6 friends all the time. That 59 is so interesting because it does bring that intimacy is so
Mm,
key. And so
mhm,
many people I meet are in that shadow. It's
mm,
hard to crack open
yeah.
and allow yourself to be seen to yourself, let alone to others.
Yeah. Ain't that so? Ain't that so? Well, yeah, safe spaces are a real thing, Katie, and we know this. In order to open up, there needs to be a
Yeah.
safe place.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize with my 61.4 SQ that I was supposed to be the safe place. I wasn't supposed to go out and try to find it.
Seems like you already are the safe place for a lot of people.
Yes. Well, I stopped trying to join the cults. Thank you so much for joining me for the bonus episode. If you haven't tuned into her main episode, head on over and hear a master communicator. We didn't talk about your 1222, but it's my favorite energy. I don't have any energies on that side of the chart. It's my favorite one because you don't like small talk, and I'm not here for that either. Big ideas, big talk, so much grace. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone listening. Thanks, Katie, again.